Welcome to Card Corner. These are the cards. That's the corner. Before I begin, I just wanted to address the elephant in the room, which is the fact that I haven't posted a video in about 4 months. And the reason for that is because Mrs. Corner and I have welcomed our first child into the world. He is about 10 months old now, so since my backlog of videos ran out, I haven't really had too much time to record new stuff. But I saw these the other day at the Salvation Army, and I thought I would pick them up. Normally, I wouldn't pick up these sort of like Olympic cards from the 90s, just because I know they're like, you can get so many of them. And I've seen them before, like a box that was like $20, and I passed on it then, but these were $2, so it was hard to go wrong. There were a bunch of these that were like torn open though in the box, in like the box where they were storing all of them. So I don't know. Looks like somebody's like old stock may have gotten donated or something, because they had probably about 50 of these there, and the price was just too good. On my way out, it also occurred to me that, hey, 2026 is supposed to be an Olympic year, isn't it? For Winter Olympics. And then I looked at my phone and it's starting in like tomorrow. So I thought I would give these a whirl, and we can just see what we got in here. I guess it's one of those sets where it's not like packs, but we just got the whole manifest right here. I've seen this set before as a box at a card store. I think they wanted like $20 for it. And for me, like at that point, it's like too much. I don't really know anything about Olympics or sports, but I thought it's cool anyway. One thing I really like about the Olympics is that they always try to do some of these new sort of sports. I remember when I was growing up, the skeleton, I'm not sure what it is. It's like a luge, but face forward is a new thing. I'm not sure if they still do that one or not. But I think it's cool how they like cycle in these like sports that are sort of more fringe. Unfortunately, they haven't done sumo wrestling at the Olympics yet. Anyway, let's just check them out. It's also cool to get sports cards that aren't just like hockey or football or basketball or baseball. So first up, we've got Shelly Reed. This is a speed skater. Looks like some of these photos. Yeah, you can see they may not have had the best source material for some of these. And I think that sort of addresses a recurring problem that I've noticed as I've been opening up these sports sets, like the fringe sports sets from the early 90s especially, is that it seems like they're like, hey, we should make a card set about this thing, but then they don't really sort of think about where their cards, their photos for the cards are going to come from. So, like, I mean, this one looks like she was like in the background of the photo or something. So that's not a good start. All right, and if you look on the back, we do have a nice amount of information here. Looks like that is her, like, they're like recent qualifiers or whatever. I'm assuming that this was released slightly before the Olympics started. Shelley joined the national team in 1985. She also enjoys making jewelry, fishing, cycling, and swimming. I always like to see, I like it when they include that extra tidbit of things they like to do outside of the sport. That back portrait photo is pretty good. Here's Susan Stewart. Oh, it also says their occupation, which is pretty interesting, because I guess they're not allowed to be professional athletes, at least at this point in time. Susan joined the national team in 1990. She is bilingual and also a competitive figure skater, cross-country runner, and skier. I think that's another cool thing about the Olympics, is that you get these occasionally you get these athletes that just have, like, in her case, I guess 4 different Olympic sports that she does. And it's also cool. Like, I'm not a big sports fan, but I think that it's pretty cool to see some of these every 4 years. You know, like, I guess figure skating is not super popular outside of the Olympics, but it is cool to see every once in a while. When not skating, Tanya can be found skiing both on water and snow. Tanya Bingert. All right, so here we get our first loser. People called me a loser in high school. Here is Chris Sudu. Chris joined the national team in 1989. He speaks Romanian and Greek and enjoys car racing. I'm not sure, like, who had what knowledge when they're making these sorts of sets. I would say this one's, like, not the worst I've seen. There are definitely some like fringe sports ones that I've seen, especially I think motocross. There was a particularly, like, rough set. And like, I don't know, do the people that are picking the pictures know about aspect ratios and dots per inch, that kind of thing? Here is Laurent Daignault, speed skater, I'm guessing from Quebec. It's a nice photo. Actually, I like that with all the people behind him in the background there. A national team member since 1989, Luis also enjoys cycling, jogging, and swimming. If you're a professional athlete, like when do you wind down if your leisure time is spent cycling, jogging, and swimming? I feel like if I'm training for skating, I'm just gonna go home and sit. Here's another pretty good photo. It is Eden Donatelli. And does it say what she does? A member of the national team since 1986, Eden is also a member of Athletes Motivating Excellence, a group who talks to students about being an elite athlete and to encourage participation. So she's, like, trying to convince the aspiring students to spend tons and tons of their lives training for sports that they'll do for a couple weeks and then maybe never again. I don't know, that's kind of rude. I shouldn't say that. Here is Susan Ock. She's a speed skater, long track. Susan has been on the national team since 1986. She was a Canadian Amateur Speed Skating Association Female Athlete of the Year for 1991. That is quite the title. Canadian Amateur Speed Skating Association Female Athlete of the Year. A lot of words for an award. All right, here we get Greg Hayden-Luck on bobsleigh. One of the things I do like to do every time the Winter Olympics happens, at least, is rewatch Cool Runnings. That was always one of my favorite movies growing up, and I just love it because it's just so pure in its intention. I don't know, something about it just makes me smile every time. And obviously John Candy's an amazing actor. And I always like the Senka, you dead? It's a good one to throw into real life situations. Greg joined the national team in 1984. He was the national decathlon champion of 1985 and 1987, and also enjoys playing tennis and golf. Very serious, Greg. Although how much training could there be really for bobsleigh? Here's another one. Here they're doing the thing where they push. Oh, I wish I could remember what they say. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up, it's bobsled time. Something like that. Here is Sheridan Baptiste. Kind of overly cropped photo here. I feel like they took the photo of the whole bobsled and then they just circled in on his face. Sheridan made the bobsleigh team in 1990. His other interests include singing, playing the clarinet, and collecting limited edition comic books. My guy, now there is a set of hobbies, right? I just got to admire that set of hobbies there. Singing, playing the clarinet, and collecting limited edition comic books, which I gotta say for 1992 is pretty good foresight. All right, here's Doug Courier, more bobsleigh. Doug was a nationally ranked shot putter before he switched to bobsledding, which is basically the plot for Cool Runnings, because if you've seen that movie, you know that they start off as like runners at the start, but then Buddy trips all three of them, and then they have to. Their dreams of being in the Olympics can only be achieved if they're to take up bobsled. Here is Kendra Kobaleka. She's an alpine skier, a member of the national team since 1987. Kendra enjoys water skiing, golf, soccer, and swimming. These athletes, man. Oh, that's a pretty nice photo. Jean-Luc Brassard. Jean-Luc joined the national team in 1990 and enjoys all sports. See, they should just put that. Like I'm thinking what happened was this team that's making this card set. They sent them a bunch of boilerplate questions because what sports do you like? And then this girl's like skiing, golf, soccer, and swimming. I like all sports. That was his like snarky answer, I guess. Let me know if you recognize any of these athletes, such as Andre Ouimet. Ouimet? I don't know how to pronounce that. It sounds very French to me. I think that most of the athletes that are playing at the Olympics this year probably were not even born in 1992. Maybe some of their coaches are in this set, though. Andre has been a national team member since 1985. Just the facts. Just the facts. All right, here's another one. It is Caroline Olivier. And it looks like they only had one photo of her. Caroline is bilingual and was named Best Athlete of the Year in 1990 by the Quebec Freestyle Ski Federation. Next up, we've got Cal Langford. That is a pretty good bro photo there, I would say. Pretty badass. Carl was a national team member in 1987-1989. He returned to competition in 1981. He also enjoys track and field and music. Music, at least. All right, here is Pat Akeson. Here they're pushing down the hill. Pat was introduced to the sport when he was 21 years old, and the following year he made the national team. He also enjoys rugby, tennis, and golf. Oh, sports guys. Donald Farley, cross country. Although it looks like he's zooming there. Donald has fulfilled his goal to be an Olympian. He is bilingual and enjoys music, astronomy, chess, and badminton. Another well-rounded guy. Sweet. And I like his hat. That ski uniform, though. All right, here is Greg Young. Freestyle skiing. Looks like he's doing some kind of crazy flip. This 8-year national team veteran also plays tennis and golf. Yeah, so he would have been like, I guess, 29? Looks a bit older than that to me, gotta say. Here is Horst Blau. is that the audience? That's cool. That's a nice shot. Oh, what a G. He actually looks like a guy now. Horst, a 9-year national team veteran, came out of retirement in 1990 after 2 years as an assistant coach with the national team. He also enjoys golf and water skiing. He would have been 30. I guess people just aged differently in the 90s. I guess 80s and 90s. All right, here's our first doubles figure skating. It's Hugh and Ledrette. There's a nice photo of them, although I'd say they should have more equal weighting in that photo. Doug helps teammates with their music selection and recording. Christine enjoys water and downhill skiing. So he's like, no, you gotta pick this track. Everything will go right then. Here's another duo. It is Bailey and LeMay. They're about to do some flip or something. See, this one's a bit more balanced, I would say. Dara and Rock only started skating together in 1990. I wonder how they did. See, if I knew what I was doing, I would have pulled up all of their stats to let you guys know if they won in the Olympics, but you'll have to do that on your own. That's a lot of work. Here is Angela Catrone. She is a speed skater leading the team. It always freaks me out seeing how close they skate to each other because they're going super fast and like they're not even wearing helmets here, which is crazy to me. Angela joined the national team in 1988. She is bilingual and enjoys playing squash. All right, here's Julie Sutton. She's a curler. Julie's goal is to promote curling as both a competitive and lifetime recreational sport. I've never done curling myself, but I know a ton of people that love curling, which I don't know if that's a Canadian thing or what. It's kind of cool, like you're just trying to aim at the spot, like shuffleboard or whatever. Angela Schmidt-Foster, cross-country skier. Look at her go. Angela started skiing in high school in 1974 and joined the national team in 1977. All right, and here we get Chris Laurie, another bobsleigh guy. I thought they only have 4 spots, but we've already done like 8 sleigh guys. That's a huge bobsleigh they got going there. Chris started on the national team in 1984. His hobbies include windsurfing, playing hockey, tennis, and golf, and reading. Just throws in reading there at the end. He didn't want you to think that he was too one note there. I wonder what kind of books Chris Laurie reads. Here is Elaine Drag Jackson. All right, and she is an alternate. What a drag. So she might not even have been in the Olympics. She is by far the oldest one that we've seen, having been born in 1955. A solid 10 years older than the next youngest. Elaine comes from a curling family and has been curling for 15 years. Although when I think about how old somebody was in 1992 that was born in 1955, it makes me feel like time flies. This is come on, guys, come on. I wonder how many cards are like this. Like, what are you doing? There had to have been something better you guys could have done. Although I think biathlon is one of the coolest sports. It's like cross-country skiing and target shooting. Kind of interesting. John is bilingual and joined the national team in 1988. Just the facts. It's a pretty cool photo with his gun in the background there. All right, here is Eddie Podovinsky, alpine skier. Eddie joined the national team in 1987. He enjoys motocross, mountain biking, windsurfing, and playing tennis and golf. Funny and placement in some of these. Here is Lorna Sassaville, cross-country skier, wearing the number 1. In 1983, she joined the national team and competed in her first Olympics in 1988. It is pretty crazy how much work they put into it, considering they. I don't think they get compensated really much. Rob Boyd, here's an alpine skier. Let me know in the comments though if you like. I don't know if you disagree with that. I don't really know if they get compensated very well. I guess they do like advertising and stuff afterwards. So fair enough, I guess. Rob joined the national team in 1985 and can also be found windsurfing, cross-country, motorcycle racing, and mountain biking. Here is Mark Bunnell, alpine skier. Mark joined the national team in 1990. He's bilingual and enjoys soccer, golf, and tennis. More sports. More sports. Here is Dan Petrick. So far, I think he has the best mustache. Curler. Oh, no mustache on the back. Dan has curled the least of any of his teammates, 13 years. His other interests include golf, badminton, tennis, and skating. Other interests. Here's Carrie Williams, another lead. Does that make her the rock thrower? Carrie has been involved in curling for more than a decade. The numbers tell us that kind of stuff, right? Here is Lily Morrison Henry, freestyle skier. Lily was an 8-year national team veteran. She was the recipient of the Sports Excellent Award at the 1987 and 1989 Tribute to the Champions. All right, we might have to speed up a little bit on some of these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read the text on everything. They're just interested in sports. They all like sports. They've been playing in the Olympics for a while, and they like sports. Nice photo. Actually, I think that's a pretty cool photo, too. Although it sort of looks like it was like taken originally with like a video camera and then photographed off of that. Here is Annie Laurendeau. She likes sports. Here is Michelle McKendry, alpine skier. She likes sports. Here is Lawrence Marikel, speed skiing. It's a cool getup there. Looks very aerodynamic. He likes sports. Here is Tanya Clark, freestyle skier. She likes sports. Oh, no. She speaks to young Canadians about the prevention of drug abuse. Here is Yves Bilodeau. Sounds French. He likes fishing. That's sports adjacent, I would say. Here is John Lockyer, ski jumper. He likes sports. No, he likes playing the guitar and drums. None of them like eating too much and setting a bad example, that kind of thing. Oh, just as I was saying that, Dan can often be found hiking and brewing his own beer. Dan's the coolest. Dan's the coolest so far. Here is Anthony Main. Tony Main. He likes sports. Is it this way? Oh, guys. Ron Richards is dead. Come on. Like, I thought it couldn't get any worse than this one, but Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry. That's hilarious. Oh, man. I love that. Do we even see, what does he like? Sports? Lacrosse, golf, and playing the drums. Here's Bob Gasper, another luger. Yep, sports. Here is Jean McAllister, cross-country skier. Does she like sports? She loves sports. Horseback riding is a sport. Neil Sullivan. Skating and sports. Oh, he likes reading. A man of culture. Here is Patrick Brault. Figure skater. Just goes on his own, I guess. He likes sports. Harrington Telford. He likes sports. Yep, cycling or camping. I guess that's not a sport, but I'd say it's sports adjacent. Here is Michael Daignault. Daignault? Something French. He is bilingual. And enjoys cycling, jogging, his sports. He speaks French and English and plays sports. Marc Gagnon, also bilingual in sports. Bilingual and sports. Oh, his brother's on the team. Ooh. That's a new one. Here is Guy Thibault. Actually, I think I might recognize that name. National team member, male athlete of the year, Quebec Speed Skating Federation. Just some accolades. Here is Chris Farstad. Bobsleigh. He likes sports. Oh, reading non-fiction books and listening to music. Fiction, get out of here. He is not into Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or the Epic of Gilgamesh. He only likes stuff like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and stuff about self-help, I guess. Maybe history, who knows. Here's Jack Pike. It's a pretty good bro photo there. Well posed on the bobsleigh there. Does he like sports? No, his parents were Polish athletes. Here's Wilson Crispin. Sports. Here's John Graham. Sports. Oh, photography. Wonder if he took this photo. All right, here is Anna Kindy. Is it the same photo on the back? Yep, only one photo, and she likes sports. Here's Marie-Andre Masson. I'm going to say she's bilingual and likes sports. Oh, there's a typo. It's a typo. Yeah. Oh, she likes mountain biking. Sports. Here is David Belhumeur. He likes badminton, golf, and sports. Here's Lark Froelich, speed skater. She likes sports. Is this the same? Oh, it's Jack Pike. Nice. Scott Hennigar. I wonder which one is... Okay, so Jack is that one, and Scott is the one in the front, I guess. No, I think he's that guy. He likes sports. Oh, no, he went undefeated in Atlantic Canada from 1984 to 1989 in the 100, 200, and 400 meter and the long jump. We might have seen this one already, too. Here's Todd Crawford. It's the beauty of the bobsleigh. You can just get one photo of all of them. Long jumper and triple jumper. Sports. Here's Alain Mazon. Bilingual in sports? No. Yeah, bilingual. His other interests include Grand Prix racing, cycling, and engineering. What do you think? What do you think hobby engineering is like? I wonder what he does. It's like building nuclear reactors in his garage. It's that kind of thing. That's what I think. Andre Benoit. I bet he's bilingual. Oh, no. He started the luge in 1984 and made the team in the same year. He is a prodigy of the luge. What? They're different guys. They're just wearing the same uniform, I guess. Really sloppy. My God. Oh, yeah, he just likes other types of sports. Here is Menzies and Wheeler. Doing some figure skating. Michelle, a bilingual high school student, teamed up with Kevin in 1986. Kevin is a carpenter who also enjoys restoring old cars. That's pretty cool. A car carpenter. All right, here's Man and Noria. Penny and Juan Carlos have only been skating together since the mid 1990. Oddly specific. Another one. Here's Kevin Martin. Shares a name with one of the Big Brother Canada winners. Kevin has been curling for 16 years. He also teaches curling and the art of ice making. What? So, he's an expert at resurfacing it, or the art? Calling it an art is an interesting choice of words. Here's Al Pilcher. He likes sports. No, he started when he was 15. Here is Ken LeBlanc. He likes sports. Oh, reading and gardening. Athletics. That's code for sports. That's what you say instead of sports when you want to sound really smart. Here's Natalie Lambert. I bet she's bilingual. Natalie is bilingual, and her interests include communications, sports journalism, public relations, and coaching. Check to see if she's coaching this year. That'd be kind of neat. All right, here is Jyoti Sutton, the curler. Jody's been curling for 10 years, and her other hobbies include sports. Here's Ralph Socher. Pretty nice photo there. He likes sports. Flying, I guess, like flying the airplane. All right, here is Steve Sear, another biathlon guy. They got him standing up, though. National team member since '87. He's bilingual and can be found entering triathlons off-season. Guys, if you're going to do a card set like this, you got to change up what you're asking them, because to just have bilingual, sports, it's just a little repetitive, especially when you're selling it as a box set. So like the most often anyone's ever going to read these, they're going to read a bunch of them, right? And so it's just going to be like super repetitive. And this guy is falling from the sky. John Ross. Not to be confused with Jonathan Ross, I guess. National team member. John spends his summers touring Europe with aerial exhibitions. All right, here we got Roman Torn. Alpine skier. Does he like sports? Yeah, mountain biking and fishing. Here's Rob Croissant. Rob Croissant. He likes sports. Rob Bossinger, another sports guy. Go figure, another sports guy. Here's Don Bartlett. I'm not sure if he like just threw at the rock, or if he's like getting down low to judge how hard he needs to throw it. His other interests include 5-pin bowling, softball, and collecting hockey and baseball cards. I like this because it's like the wiener ear type of bowling, the wiener ear type of baseball, and then he just collects the stuff of the other sports. Classic Don. All right, here's Kevin Park. More curling. Nice mustache. He also enjoys golf and swimming. More sports. Here is John Smart. If I were a smart man, I'd say he also likes sports. Windsurfing, tennis, and mountain biking. Here is Lane Barrett. Another thing that I think that they could have done is try to get other photos. Like I guess you want to see them doing their sport, but especially when they're on the same team, a lot of these pictures I feel are starting to look a little bit samey. They wear the same uniforms or similar uniforms, and they're half the time they're wearing masks anyway. So I think that they could get us a bit more variety. Like I do like the bobsled ones where they're posing with the bobsled. I think that's a nice touch, but I think they could have done a little bit more with some of these skiers. Yeah, the sports. Here's Carrie Mullen. All sports. Here's Mary Joan McCann. Guess it's supposed to be that way. Record holder, kayaking, rollerblading, DJing, and playing electric guitar and keyboards. Here's Nicholas Fontaine, flying through the air. Sports. Danny Bouchard. Is he a bilingual in sports? He likes golf, mountain biking, windsurfing, and hunting. All right, here's Karen Preston, one of those figure skaters, and she also likes sports. Josie Chouinard. Bilingual. Designs her own costumes. That's pretty cool. Here's Cameron McKay, speed skater. Pretty sweet photo of him there. Male Athlete of the Month, January 1989. Very prestigious. Here's Neil Marshall. Did some stuff. Got some awards. Here is Harry Salmon. Harry Salmon. I don't want to see one of those. Fishing, hunting, and rock climbing. Here's Oliver Mikulski. He's a luger. Not sure what's going on here. I think that's just him breaking. He plays the violin. Here is Frederick Blackburn. Speed skater. Sports. I wonder if any of these pictures, you could like line them up. Kind of like that. I think there's gotta be a couple. Right, here is Brent Frank. 2 first names, and he likes sports. Fanny Gogo. She joined the national team in 1991. It is all we know about her. What else is there to know? Here's Mark Lackey. He likes the drums in sports. Here is Becky Hamilton. She likes sports. Gregor Jelinek. All right. My jokes are getting old. The sports thing is getting old. Let's just go through them. All right, here we got Peter Robertson Stoville getting in the bobsled. Here is Louis Francois Gagnon, alpine skier. He's got a pretty nice jacket. Dennis Marinou. I hope he's the one in the front or the back there. That's a pretty funny shot. I like that one. Here's Patrick Kelly. Oh my goodness. They only have the one photo on file. Bagpipes. Nice. Actually, I think I went to high school with a guy named Patrick Kelly. He may have also played the bagpipes. Not him, though. Here is Kennedy Ryan flipping through the air. Kevin Milliken. He's skiing, gonna shoot later. Wayne Dustin. Dave Walker. Kirk Allen. Ball and Bombardier. Here's Kristen Berg taking that shot. I wonder why. I guess probably the course has like different type, like you're supposed to stand for this one and then you lie down for the other ones. Here is Lise Melocci, or maybe they get to pick and then they're more accurate when they get down on the ground, but they're faster when they stay standing. Here is Chantal Cote, Lisa Sargent, Ellen Gillies, Peter and Janoschak, Ida Mitten, Stefan Barrett, Ashley Herod, Brad King, Felix Belzik, Ryan Stemmel, Melissa Soligo, Glenn Rupertus, Genevieve Fortin. I bet she's bilingual. Oh, no, it doesn't say that, but she does like sports. Here is Christian Marcoux, Nancy G, Lucie Laroche, Kenny Dale, 2 first names, Anne-Marie Broussard, Lucy Steele, Kevin Scott, 2 first names, Contriona LeMay, Caroline Mahia. Kathy Salmon. I wonder if she's related to Harry Salmon. Steve Harris. I went to school with a guy named Steve Harris. Kind of a bad photo of him, though. Natalie Beauvais. Christine Boudrias. Jutta Cosette. Sylvain Gagnon. Sean Holman. Let's see if any of these line up. No, I don't think so. Robert Dubreuil. Sean Ireland. Guy Sheffer. Eric Villiard. Got one of those snappy jackets. Speaking of snappy jackets, it's Pierre Ladurs. Here is Sylvie Cantins, another one that couldn't get a good photo. Alicia Klein. Katharina Kubenk. Darren DeRoshi. Richard Pierce. Here's Vincent Possenti. That's probably the coolest photo so far. They got the motion blur and everything. Are they going by? Yeah, that's a cool one. It's probably the best photo. Here's Jane Isaacson, Isabel Charest, Tom Hansen. Looks like he's got the exact same lineup as that other guy. Gillian Hamilton, Artie Lancaster, Brasseur, and Eisler, Michael Slipchuk. Got quite the uniform there. McDonald and Smith, Nadine Landry, Jane Vincent, Brad Suey, Elaine Villiard, Dennis Murau, Darren Thorburn, Yvonne Visser, I don't know. Tony Fiala. We've got Jules Ochar. I've got to see what his interests are. Jules switched from hockey to curling 28 years ago. He is very involved in coaching, coordinating a student league and spiels, I don't know what that is, and instructing college physical education classes. Wow, 41. He is the oldest one by a mile. By like 15 years. I like that mustache. Yeah, look at him go. So I was sort of wanted to look like who made these cards. Okay. Copyright BNA Canadian Olympic Hopefuls. I don't even know what that means. So is it like a company, kind of like the NHL Players Association, but for aspiring Olympians? That's the thing. Like, if you're not a card company and you make a set of cards, like, it's cool and all, but you're taking a risk, man. Because it's not cheap. I've seen the prices to get cards custom printed, and it is not cheap. Here's Pat Henry, Michael Murray. Here we've got Annie Perreault, Eric Hards, here's Todd Allison. Not sure what's going on there. And the last one is Rhonda DeLong. She was at Carleton University Athlete of the Year, the year I was born. All right, here is Rhonda DeLong. All right, guys, so I don't know. I think that that's pretty fun. I feel like I have already stated all of my opinions throughout the video. I don't know. I could see why there were like 100 of them in a bin for $2 a piece. I don't know that I would want to spend any more than that. Although I guess it would have been cool, like in 1992, as the Olympics were happening, to just kind of like look through them. Might have been a bit cooler. And I do appreciate the effort that they've put into getting there. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what your favorite Olympic sport is. Do you like any of the oddball ones like I do? I'm definitely a fan of the oddball ones. Which card was your favorite, and what advice would you give some like aspiring card set makers to make the most out of the one shot that they're taking to make a card set? I would say try not to make it so when the text is right side up that the person is not like going face first into the ground. That would be my point of advice. Let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy watching me read through these 1992 Canadian Winter Olympic collector cards? Let me know in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more card-related nonsense. Enjoy the Olympics. I'm looking forward to watching the opening ceremonies. And then, I don't even know what new sports they got this year, but I'm sure I'll find something. I'm not a huge sports guy. Every 4 years or so is good to watch random sports for me, though. So, this is Card Corner opening these 1992 Winter Olympic collector cards. Take it easy.